Here, for folks like us, wrong city, wrong people.
Alright, welcome to the channel everybody. Aesop Grim here, and this is a continuation of my Bannerlord War Sales playthrough. We're picking up right where we left off. In the last episode, we just placed Dinar Castle under siege, and we are 712 strong. Basically, I'm gonna act as kind of like an outrider, a scout. Yeah, see, here's an example right here. Halea, I don't like letting these people just come up and post up right here and wait for their buddies. If you're going to do something like that, you should be across this bridge and hiding in the woods where I can't see you. If you're going to do it in plain sight, then I'm going to come get you.
If you please, stop there. I would ask for your name.
Well, that's quite the mix. You got an Imperial, a Kuzite, and a Sturgian. So we have a mixed force here. That could be dangerous, but of course we pretty much double them in numbers. So we should just completely roll them over. I'm going to try something that I've not done before, and I don't know if it's smart or not, and I'm not really sure I'm even going to be effective at being able to tell whether or not that was good play. But because we're the Nords... Oh, that was the wrong group. We have highly defensible archers that are capable of performing melee and can take a hit. So I'm going to put them right here. And I'm going to kind of protect their flanks while leaving the middle open. Something like that, even though they're not extended out all the way. I don't want them down in this gully. Alright, let's find out what they're gonna do. They may not even come to us. And it kinda looks like they are. But the way that their cavalry's riding out, I think they're only going to come to a certain point. Yeah. Okay, so that's where they picked to set up at.
Infantry, 4 foot line! Infantry, move! Archers, onward!
So we're going to move in.
Archers! Forward! Infantry! Move! Soldiers! Forward! Archers! Hold your ground! Infantry! Move! Soldiers, move! Footmen! Forward! Warriors, move! Footmen, form a shield wall! Infant, form a wall! Yeah!
Alright, let's see how this goes. Oh, nice. That was an accident. I don't normally go for overhands. When you see me doing overhand, it's just how the mouse registered. Okay. Dang. Okay, I lost most of my companion cav, it looks like. Because I didn't really fight that how I normally fight. It looks like everybody's down but this dude right here. That must have been their leader. Okay, so judging by the way the bodies have fallen, it looks like a few bodies got here into the midst of my archers. But looking at these axes makes me think that our dudes here turned around and threw axes at them. You can see a number of these bodies are pin-cushioned. So I may have to give that a shot in a few other battles where I can maybe watch a little bit better, hang back and just command instead of getting out in the middle of it. Here our archers just put them down, man. These are probably mostly riders. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay, I thought that dude was missing limbs and stuff. Okay, so we lost one person. It was a marauder. The Sky Gods Chosen were the clear killers in this round. I had 9 kills. My companion cavalry didn't do great this time around because I didn't really let them do what they normally do, which is keep them on the move and running circles around people. The Scalbrasteer were next, so that's a good sign. Some melee. Alea was executed. Okay, 120 melee, 60 archers. That's pretty much what I'm looking for. And I'm at 181 of 184. Soren's gonna get a vigor attribute. Len is gonna get walk it off. Okay, how are we sitting here money-wise? We're at 47k, and we're losing 300 a day, because we're a new noble with no castle. Master at Arms. One-handed. Okay, well we're attacking right before the Kuzite army gets here. Which means we might get wiped out as soon as we're done taking the castle. That's possible. Are there any ladders? We need to get on top of these walls as quickly as possible. Here we go. How am I missing him? Everything I've thrown has missed him. I've been right on target, I feel like. Bad. think they're gonna disappear. That must be the keep. Okay, I had 9 losses this time around. 5 of them were Scout Prestige. That sucks. Surely this is an upgrade for somebody. Let me check Soren. No. There you go. It doesn't look right, but it is an upgrade. Okay, I got a focus point that I will put into leadership. There we go. Donate our prisoners. Now here come these guys right here. I guess they decided not to. Okay. We're probably gonna vote on this castle pretty soon. I don't want it, but they're gonna give it to me. So we should probably clear out these deserters.
Infantry! Arrows! Move! Warriors! Loose formation! Infantry!
One more. There we go. I hate to put you in a gully, but that's kind of how it's shaping up.
Forward! Shields up! Warriors! Move! Infantry! Make a shield! Infantry! Forward! Move!
Something like that.
Order! Follow me!
Okay, and they should come right at us because they're deserters, and that's how the AI programs them to be, is to attack us no matter what.
Archers! Stand your ground! Stand back!
Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit back. Since we outnumber them so badly, I don't need to be the hero here. And I'm just gonna watch.
Cavalry! Kill them all! Yeah!
How they engage with this formation. If you're gonna force my hand. Okay, so archers sit back here and just do a 360-degree massacre of their circling archer troops. We'll have to see how this does against another culture, because the Kuzite are gonna always do this. They don't charge my archers. They just run circles, and so my archers just track them. And I don't have to protect them or put them inside squares or circles of melee infantry, because all they do is run rings. Even the Khan's Guard because they're an archer first. They're very adept at charging the enemy. And then everything else they had left looks like it was primarily archer-based also. So that formation worked just fine. Well, it's not that it worked, it's that there wasn't a need for a formation. It was just sit back and pick them apart. So I need to... It's not good testing ground is what I'm trying to get at. Alright, now... Somebody's coming down here and hit... That 400, that group of 400 Kuzite, they're gonna attack Dinar, I'm sure of it. What can I do? I'm not really ready to go back yet. Let's come down this way. Well, actually, I kinda am ready. I need to re-recruit. Alright, here it is. Vote for the new owner. Oh, let's go get these 43. That's a substantial amount. Alright, so if formation doesn't really matter very much, then we'll just put a group there, a group there.
Forward! Loose formation!
3 deep right here.
Forward! Cavalry! After me! Form a scale! Change formation! Infant form a footman! Make a shield wall! Change formation! Footman! Square formation! Infantry! In a square!
We're gonna do this because since they do ride circles, I would imagine they are targeting my infantry in their backs whenever they ride around behind here. So I think square formation is the way to go.
Arrow! Hold! Infantry! Move! Soldier! Move! Cavalry! Charge!
Oh my gosh. They're all dead. That cav is dead.
Follow me!
It was the throwing axes and bows. Throwing axes and arrows. Look at the sky. Golly, man. The north is really amazing. So, square formation seems to be an improvement for the kinds of soldiers that we're facing. Maybe now...
Infant form of infant! Raise your shields!
we want to go shield wall
Footmen! Close! Footmen! Advance!
and begin advancing on them.
Charge!
Now, I'm just going to kind of sit back and watch how my people perform. I am particularly interested in how my cav does against these archers, because they're not really under pressure from anybody else, which allows the archers to focus fire on my cav. So how does that go?
Infantry attack!
I haven't lost anybody yet. Oh man, they charged right through that guy. Alright. There's just one dude left. Look at how far they can throw their axes, man. It's not bad. Alright, we lost nobody. That worked pretty good. Uh, 28. No, I think everybody in my outfit has much better than that. Boy, we sure seem to have skill ups every fight, though. Your gear double leveled. We'll give him Lancer. And, let's give him this. The anti-shield for throwing weapons. See, they put it under siege. So he's known for his strength. And pole arm. Wow. Everything disappeared off the map. Because it went nighttime. So our visibility dropped substantially. These guys are pretty fast. I don't want to chase them across the entire map. Alright, Dinar was granted to me and is about to be immediately lost. Whoa, did they attack? Let us, let us save over the temp file here. I didn't expect that. It's a tight battle. They have a little bit of an advantage.
Infantry! On horsemen! Stay close! Yeah!
Okay.
So, stand apart! Soldiers! Move! Soldiers! Forward! Footmen! Move! Throw forward!
A guy? Is that a named character or a position? Like a soldier type?
Cavalry, give them hell! Square! Make a square!
Oh boy, man, that guy was waiting for me. How did I miss him?
Soldier! Forward!
Mastery, increase any skill to 300. Okay.
Soldier, move!
I think we can press the attack. Oh boy. Nice. Itzul, that was a named character. Oh, nice. Right in the ribs. Oh, this is my guy. Oh, yeah, don't hit him. I can do friendly fire. I had to remember that. Thank goodness for my bad aim. Alright. Lost some people in onesies, just 5.
Stop! I yield.
Who is this? I can't tell. Ulinan or something like that.
Stop! I yield.
Uliman. Noragur.
Enough. I choose to live to fight another day. I trust you will respect the custom of war and allow me to pay a fair ransom.
No, I choose for you not to fight another day.
I give up. I give up. Call back your dogs.
That's a lot of people. that we just sent to their grave. A lot of Kuzite leaders. Another Karahan. Does everybody have a Karahan that needs one? Karahan for Gulta. Olafun has a Karahan. Double check that, yes. Yaldar, Karahan. Pure Gear, Karahan. And Eric has a Karahan. Okay. 36. Is this an upgrade for anybody? Yes. There you go, Soren. Anything else here that's an upgrade for you? This is a minor, like a 1-point upgrade. There's an upgrade. This is a legendary long saber. That's an upgrade. Okay. Yeah, she's looking pretty good now. We'll take the rest as loot. I will plus up in leadership. 10% morale from victories. Bandits can be converted. I'll take the morale from victories. Blag will receive 5% damage with throwing weapons, 20 throwing skill to troops in your formation. Yeah. We'll take that. Nords have a lot of throwing weapons. Yaldar will get Headhunter. Okay. Oh, and I take it Polearm is where I reached 300, yes. So 0.2% attack speed with polearms for every skill point. Come on. Above 250. And 0.5% damage with polearms for every skill point. Above 250. Excellent. Does anybody have... Soren has a focus point that she can put into... not much. Throwing. Looks like she's got throwing weapons on her. Okay. We will go to Dinar and drop off well, oh, why did I do that? There, okay, down to 130 of 130. I need Esselin, though. You came to the wrong castle, lady. Alright. Looking good, looking good. Alright, Dinar. Let's not waste time on managing the garrison or the castle right now. If this sucker lasts through the episode, then next episode we'll start to take a look at castle management. But that, for the entire war with the Kuzite, has switched hands back and forth constantly. Let's take out this group of 40. Because they're harassing our villagers. We're ready.
Archers! Move! Warriors, move!
Oh, shoot.
Infantry, move! Infantry, advance!
apparently we're aiding the villagers.
After me!
Or a very small group of a Nordic raiding party. Execute a lord that you have negative 100 relations with. I spit on your grave. That's awesome.
Hunters forward! Cavalry! Attack!
Yes. I got him to play fancy horse maneuver stuff, and it let my guys get in there. It let my foot soldiers get in there and just take them out, man.
Die, you bastard!
This guy's not long for this earth, man. Good grief. Okay. Alright, now we'll head back home to HQ, sell stuff, and get some more recruits. Takes charge, never tires out. Wins wrestling, I think, is the vigor one. Oh, but a two-handed, I'm not really interested in that. Always hits his mark throwing, yes. And, mock battles for one-handed. Oh, what do we have here? A courier with a ransom offer for Begai. I know I wounded Begai. I thought I executed him too. Oh, somebody else got him as a prisoner. I'm going to decline. Well, I tell you what, guys, we are in the FAFO era. You know, all those years that I was up in Boise in the early to mid 2000s, I kind of watched Antifa slowly unfold. And they started out, so they are purposely breaking norms. Our castle's under siege. So Trump gets labeled as a right-wing authoritarian, and the reasoning given is that he breaks, like whenever you actually go and you debate somebody over it, or if you're talking with AI about it, AI's reporting why scholars are calling him a right-wing authoritarian or saying that he leans in that direction. You find that he hasn't actually done anything authoritarian. They really can't tie him to that. They can try and say, well, he weaponized the DOJ, but as you argue with them and debate what political norms are in America whenever a presidency takes over, they find that that's just kind of the status quo. So, are you saying the status quo in America is authoritarianism? Well, no. Right, so the argument kind of falls apart. But what you're left with, after debating for a while, is that he shows hallmarks of breaking established democratic norms. That's the phrasing that's used, okay? Well, he was democratically elected in a landslide victory. Well, the first time in one of the biggest political upsets ever, which required a ton of people to vote for him, including non-conservatives. The second time, it was a landslide victory, democratically elected to do just exactly that. The reason Donald Trump was elected both times is that he is an outsider. He's anti-establishment. He's not part of the quote-unquote democratic norms. We don't want the democratic norms. We think they're corrupt as hell. Right? So spare me your democratic norms argument as to why he's an authoritarian. I'm not an authoritarian. I understand a lot about authoritarianism. I've read plenty about it, particularly around the World War II era. I know about the Soviets. I know about the Nazis. I know about Mussolini. I know about Japanese authoritarianism. And that one I wouldn't really even describe as a kind of like an evil authoritarianism. That was a monarchy, right? But I understand what authoritarianism is, and I know that I'm not that, right? So your arguments are frankly stupid. They really are. They're stupid arguments that get picked apart once somebody who has some understanding, and that's not necessarily me, but somebody who has an understanding of how these things go can start to counter you, right? But I wanted to highlight that. The big catchphrase that you hear, because they don't really have any ironclad things they can hit them with, every time they try to hit them with a specific event, when you dig into that event and you prove, well, so Donald Trump was just following the law, then the argument falls apart, and what they fall back on is, well, it's his intent or the fact that he breaks with established democratic norms. So like I said, we don't want established democratic norms. We hate that stuff. That's why we elected him. And whenever I say we, I mean the vast majority of the American population. That should be understood. The left is very good at creating astroturf and gaslighting and making you think that they have tons and tons of numbers. They don't. They don't. It's a country of 350 million, more than that whenever you add the illegals on. So you're going to find numbers, but the ratio is awful. Oh, they out of money, man. Look at that. We're going to get 91,264. Okay. Did I hostage them? Yeah, I sold them back, ransomed them. Okay, so we're going to go to the next town then. So, the reason I bring that up is I want to emphasize that idea that one of the left's major complaints is the breaking of quote-unquote democratic norms. Okay, well, whenever I was watching Antifa take shape in the early to mid-2000s, really a lot more in the mid-2000s, one of the very first things they did was they got out and started directing traffic with authority as if they were police. Well, that's a breaking of a norm. And if you didn't comply with them, they threatened you, they beat your car. As time rolled on, if you decide to get out and protect yourself and your property, and were somehow able to do that without getting beat up yourself or killed, you were the one that got jailed. And if they did something that was so overt that it created a public image nightmare for them, they would arrest. But then you'd find out that the AG declined to prosecute, and they were quietly released just a couple days later. Maybe a lot of times that night or the next day. So they have legal systems that are bought and paid for. They're breaking norms all of the time. So the left breaks norms. The left is actually, for not just in America, I'm talking like the left in its history has always been about subversion of culture, subversion of a primary system, breaking of norms. Well, Saul Alinsky says, if you don't know who Saul Alinsky is, Barack Obama was an absolute acolyte of Saul Alinsky. Hillary Clinton wrote her college thesis on Saul Alinsky. He was a guy that started out working with the mafia and then moved into government. And he eventually wrote, so there you go, right? He's a criminal. He has a criminal mind. He has a criminal background. He has criminal understanding. Not just thuggish criminal, but organized crime criminal. That's his background. And that's who these people, Obama and Clinton, idolized and patterned their own behavior off of. So then he wrote a book called Rules for Radicals. And in that book, one of the things that he says is there are two things he says that I thought were really key. One is that always accuse your enemy first of what you're doing. That way, whenever they find out what you're doing and they accuse you of it, they look ridiculous. And the second one is there is no defense against mockery. Well, if you look at how the left operates, that's everything they do, right? They project. They accuse us of doing what they themselves are guilty of, and they do it early. They're the first ones to make that accusation, whether it's racism or anything else, right? Okay, so, so for example, with racism, the entire woke ideology is about replacement. Or I don't want to say the entire, but a core part of it. And the way they frame it is as justice, social justice. But the hiring practices are blatantly anti-meritocracy and anti-white, particularly white male. You got to call a spade a spade. If you're going to be able to ascertain where your culture's at, you have to be intellectually honest. And that's blatantly what's happening, as featured by a number of court cases that have been won for just exactly that, wrongful termination based on race. So they are guilty of what they've been accusing us of for decades. And that's their pattern. That's what Alinsky recommended. Then the second thing, mockery. Well, that's what they use the mainstream media for. They're constantly making fun of Trump and the comedians, the late night TV shows, right? They're not very funny. They've not been funny for a long time. But notice how they picked the industry of comedians. Because mockery. If you're able to successfully mock someone, there's no real good defense. So then here we are with getting back to Antifa. Let's sell some of this grain. And they're breaking norms by directing traffic. Later on, what this turns into is that they actually place the Portland Capitol, I believe it was, under siege for something like 4 months. They just set up camp. This happened under Biden. Biden just let it happen. They were there for months and months and months, and they were shining high-powered laser beams into cops' eyes, trying to burn their retinas out and blind them permanently. This is consistent with Antifa. They run around with cudgels. There's some kind of a thing that they use that they when they attack you, whether it's with their skateboards or anything else, they go for head strikes because they're trying to induce permanent brain trauma, what's called a TBI, traumatic brain injury. They're trying to induce that. They want you to be permanently disabled. This is part of their tactics. There for a while, it was real popular for them to assault people with slushies and milkshakes that had battery acid mixed in with it. Right? Antifa is exceptionally violent. They murdered a guy for wearing a MAGA hat. That was in Portland. That was an operation. They actually stalked him and were on comms with each other. They had two separate groups, one across the street and one trailing the guy, and they stalked this guy through the city of Portland until they found an opportunity. And then they assassinated him with a gunshot. The guy that actually pulled the trigger ran for his life to Washington State And we tracked him down and arrested him. How much were we gonna get? 59,000. So then now what we've had now as soon as Trump got elected, we went in there and we forced Antifa out of Portland. And the left raised hell over it, saying that, oh, it's authoritarian, Donald Trump is sending his shock troops. No, you moron, we're sending policing to take care of criminals. Right? And there's this phrase going around that it's amazing how much the left pretends to not understand. And that's true. These people do understand. They're just liars. And we need to adopt this. In my opinion, we need to adopt this in our society. We need to become anti-liar again. It used to be in ancient times that was a huge, huge thing. If you were a known liar, your life was worth dirt, man. You might get yourself actually executed by the state. Or by your village, your own peer group, for being a known liar. That stuff's not taken well, because the further back you go in time, the more that your word and reputation are relied upon. And if you gave testimony that turned out to be false, I mean, the Romans would throw you off a dang cliff. They had a special ritual for it. That dates back to the very beginnings of their history. And we need to get back to something akin to that. We need to make lying shameful again. And that's what these people are. The left are a collection of liars. And so, recruit. And so we're in this position where they accuse Donald Trump of breaking democratic norms, while they themselves are breaking democratic norms. Right? How a society functions. I just mentioned the Antifa example, but what I'm really wanting to get to is that ever since Trump got into office, it started in Los Angeles with the illegal immigrant crackdown. Are they ever going to stop sending me kids to be educated? Strength? I need to take care of this first. Next. And as a squire, I think, one-handed, okay. And joins in a tournament for pole arm. Good. What the left started doing was, again, breaking another norm. When have you ever seen this in the history of America? Go back and look at old movies about the mafia and stuff like that. They are inserting themselves with a mass amount of civilians. I am convinced that the vast majority, we're talking 95% plus, are paid. And there's evidence floating around on TikTok showing this. Each time one of these things show up, what we find after a while, somebody gets mixed into a crowd and they think that we're one of them. And the word goes out, hey, pass the word around. We're done. Our time is up. These people are being paid to show up and rabble-rouse. Liars. Right? Liars. And so they started to show up and insert themselves into the middle of policing operations. Oh, stillborn. That's too bad. Gulta. And they are trying to normalize this. And notice how over the years, if you've seen any footage of the left trying to throw up barriers to traffic, and these people have jobs to get to and kids to go pick up, and you see somebody not stop for them and actually just roll through their little makeshift human barricade, and somebody that they get out of the way, but somebody doesn't see it coming and they kind of get clipped by the corner. And I mean, it's not brutal or anything, they just sort of fall over, right? But how do you see the leftists react, particularly the women, every single time without fail? Oh my effing God, what are you doing? What are you doing? Well, what did you think was going to happen, you idiot? Now, when it comes to females, I don't know. Sometimes I think that's genuine because females don't emotionally regulate very well under stress. I'm not throwing them under the bus. It's just true. They have I've worked with plenty. I've had female commanders before. I've worked with women that were trained to be able to maintain composure, but I'm telling you, it's more of an uphill battle for them. That's why it deserves to be recognized, because it's hard for them. Harder than guys. Guys come by it more naturally because we can compartmentalize. Maybe there's some other reasons in there too, but that's part of it, right? So some of this could be just natural feminine reaction, but I think some of it is trained behavior. They want to get it recorded. They want to act like it's completely outlandish. How dare you? They want to make a big thing about it. They have now taken somebody getting waylaid by a vehicle and they're just using it for a PR stunt. That's how little they think about human life. This is what they do to their own people. Right? They're purposely setting their people up to be put in positions where they are accosted and then film it and put clips in on social media out of context to build a false narrative. They don't care one iota about their people, and their people are dumb enough to think they do. So they've normalized, or they're trying to normalize, inserting themselves into policing operations in the midst to cause chaos, to slow down traffic, to block traffic, to even to ram ICE with their vehicles, to blow whistles, to warn illegals, to cause as much disruption as possible. So we have this chick in Minnesota who we now know is a trained activist. And she blocks ICE. ICE gets out to go arrest her, and she tries to run over a police officer and flee the scene.
Infantry, movement!
Oh, okay, we need to...
Close! Infantry, move to line up after me! Archers! Move! Loose from it! Advance!
And she gets smoked. By the ICE agent that she was trying to run over. Now, at the time, a whole day was spent arguing over whether or not she was really trying to run him over or if she was just scared and trying to flee the scene. On the footage available, it could kind of go either way. I felt like people pointed some things out on both sides that it's like, okay, I'm not sure. This could be just a case of a woman panicking and not really conducting herself very intelligently. I've heard other women say that women have a hard time making risk assessments. I don't know that to be true. I'm not a female, right? But I'm saying that I've heard other women say this.
Archers, move! Archers, forward!
They really can't size up the risk-reward very well, and then you throw on top of that the indoctrination they have from feminism, telling them that they're just as strong as a man, or they can do anything that a man can, or that the way to get ahead in life and make sure you're getting paid what you're being paid is to model yourself after a man and be aggressive, right? And it ends up putting them consistently into very, very piss-poor circumstances. So I thought that there was a case to be made for that. That it was possible that she just lost her mind. My position was, I don't care. That doesn't mean anything. Why are you bringing that up as a defense? Well, because the agent, she was no threat. The agent shouldn't have... Yeah, she was a threat, actually. That's exactly what she was. And she didn't comply with orders. She was ordered to get out of the car. She was under arrest. Well, this, that, or the other. They brought up a bunch of stuff about she wasn't trying to block traffic. She was there to pick up her kid. The next day, there was even more argument over it, and this one, it seemed to me that it was the left that had most of the social media presence, and they had trotted out their things. That's where this idea about she was just a mom who was there to pick up her kids, she didn't know what she was doing, where the right was saying, no, we're tracking down information that's saying she was a paid and trained activist. The left countered that and swamped social media, and in my opinion did a better job of getting more views to craft the narrative that she was an innocent mom that ICE gunned down in cold blood. Well, then the following day, day 3, we get the actual police cam footage, and it becomes really clear. You can hear the rhetoric. This chick was, she did have kids. She was straight at one point in time, and she had become gay, and she had either a wife or a live-in partner, from what I can gather. And that's the lady that called her out there, from what I've heard, saying, "Hey, ICE is here. We need you to come out here and lead the resistance here," because that's what she was. She was a activist leader. She was trained. So she showed up, parked her car in the middle. ICE immediately identified her as the one that knew that what she was doing the most and wanted to get her out of there. And the police cam footage is now showing the partner being belligerent and disrespectful with the police, daring them, egging them on, bring it on, come at us. And then it shows the cam footage of the guy that got hit, shows the driver, the lady that hit him, looks right at him, smiles, and guns the engine. See, the left are liars. They lie about everything. It's a core part of their makeup. Now, that doesn't mean that everybody who follows on the left is a liar. A lot of these people are, well, I want to say the word stupid. They're stupid, but it's not true. They're indoctrinated. The way that propaganda works is that it takes people that are otherwise intelligent in all other facets, and in targeted areas, it makes them effectively stupid. Effectively. That's the way that propaganda works. And that's what these people have been taken in with. So not everybody who is a lefty is a liar, is what I'm trying to get at. I know that that's true, right? But large, significant numbers of them are just exactly that. They're being paid. They're there to rabble-rouse. They don't care about any cause. They care about a paycheck. Cheese. Do we have more cheese? Yeah. And what I'm so happy about, and this is really what I wanted to get to before I ended this episode, is that the Trump administration doesn't care. They're continuing to press on. There were 2 more people in Portland the very next day, in the middle of what the left is trying to turn into a public image firestorm. Right in the middle of it, on day 2, where the left really gained all of that. That's what I said, right? They came out with their narratives that she was just a mom picking up her kids, and that they seemed to dominate social media. I think this is through bot accounts or shills, robots or shills. And on that day, 2 more people in Portland, I guess they were part of a gang, tried to do the same thing, and they got smoked also. Now, I don't think they got killed, but they got taken down.
I wish you peace and prosperity.
Oh, not that. And then I think there was a third instance a day later. This one was, I think, didn't involve gunfire. I think somebody threw something at ICE, and ICE chased them down like 75 yards, like they were linebackers, and just gang tackled this dude into the asphalt and arrested him. And I think a lady who was trying to protest and get physical with ICE also got thrown to the ground and arrested. I really like. That's one of the things I like about Trump, is that he doesn't play by their rules. He doesn't kowtow. they try to create a socio-political atmosphere that where the prevailing wisdom is, let's handle this with kid gloves and let things calm down. Trump's position has always been, F you, I'm stepping on the gas more. And that seems to work against them really well. They don't know what to do with that. Their entire tactic appears to be go out, get away with bloody murder, scream human rights violations, and then walk away. Turn around, repeat, rinse and repeat at another place. And the Trump administration doesn't really play that game. The Trump administration says, no, we're going to go harder. We're going to bring more agents in. And I am so thankful to have a president that doesn't back down to this very blatantly obvious tactic, in my opinion, that I'm sure politicians are smart enough to see, but politicians are worried about re-election. And even in his first term, Trump didn't go soft when Trump could be re-elected. It's just not in his makeup, and it's not how he ran his business. It's not in his core beliefs of how to win. And man, I am so super excited to have somebody who will actually fight for the rule of law and not back down to these cheap and obvious tactics that consist of nothing but social pressure. No real threat. It's like running into somebody when you're in high school who threatens you that, hey, I know you just witnessed something, and if you talk about it, we'll show up at your house and gun you and your whole family down. Now that's a threat, right? But it's like it's coming from somebody who's never ever in their life delivered on a threat like that. For that to be scary, you gotta be somebody. You have to have actually made people pay the price in a large enough amounts for it to carry weight. And the left strikes me as an organization that is a whole lot more bark than they are bite. That's been their chief tactics. It's not that they don't have people that are willing to engage in violence. It's that they don't have enough. And they don't have the tools and resources. They got a lot of psychos. I mean literal psychotic people that are on mental medication, who are willing to go out there and throw fisticuffs. But you're bringing a knife to a gunfight. They don't have the law and order and the institutions that the government has. They're strictly able to succeed based off of how public opinion polls. Well, that's an exact tactic of people like Hamas. That's how Hamas has been fighting Israel for years and years and years. And I'm not picking a side here. I'm just making an observation of different people groups that practice different tactics. That is a Middle Eastern tactic that you use whenever you're not in the position of power. And what do we know about the woke movement and Ferguson in particular? Well, we know that the leaders, or the people that would become the leaders of the fledgling BLM movement and other NGOs that were involved in the widespread protest of what happened at Ferguson, were flown, all expense paid trip to Palestine to be trained by Hamas organizers on how to overthrow and subvert. So then
Enough.
it makes sense
I am your prisoner.
that what we're
I can pay a
seeing right
ransom.
now,
I am worth more to you alive.
That's a good voice actor, actually. I didn't mean to do that. We'll deal with you in a minute. So it makes sense then that the tactics that we are seeing now, present day, and for the past several years, are all built off of that. Another aspect of Hamas was the entire human shield thing. Every time they wanted to report that Israel had bombed a hospital, it's because they were storing their weapons there. And they had real people in hospitals, or they had school kids in schools. Those were real, their own people, trying to use them as human shields. And you can see the left manipulate its people the same way. I promise you, they didn't shed a tear for this lady. They instead looked to see how they could capitalize on it. Damage and catastrophe and tragedy are part of the recipe. I'm going to try giving... Oh, no, she needs well prepared. So they actually like it. Freya... Oh, Freya has come of age. Look at this, 9 attribute points. You get 1 right there. That probably should have been 3. Okay. Man, that's really cool. We watched this kid be born a while ago. Now she has come of age and we're training her up to be a warrior. She will lead her own party one day. I think that's really neat. Can we edit her name? So yeah, well, hold on, before I forget. It makes sense that we're seeing those kind of Middle Eastern tactics where they try to get public sentiment on their side and make you they give you what's called war exhaustion at play. And I love how the Trump administration just rolls right through it, where others have capitulated in the past. Oh, we need to call her to our party. These were the twins, I guess. Not eligible. Okay. So they're coming of age real soon. And what that means is that we'll probably take some of our current Cav, like Fjörgir and Yaldar, and turn them into their own parties. I want to do that ASAP, but we need to get monetarily solvent first. Alright, leave these are real young. We'll just leave them as is. Alright, let's go ahead and save that. Well, we'll make a trip up here to Hargard first. Oh, watch this. This is a pretty neat cinematic. See, each time it goes behind something that blocks your view, you see her grow up. Pretty touching moment, you know. 1107, autumn. I think that's cool. So I was real encouraged by that. That was one of the things I was I wouldn't say I was holding my breath on it, because I didn't think Trump would cave. But, I think that said Lynn is pregnant. But I was waiting to find out, how is the administration going to react here? This is a big firestorm. They're trying to create another George Floyd moment. This is a bigger than normal firestorm, right? And I was real encouraged to see that nothing changed. We went, if anything, we poured gas on it. We hit the gas more and leaned into it. And I'm excited about that. Because at the end of the day, I think the vast majority of the left and everything that they have to throw out there is fabricated. I think it's gaslighting, and I think it's astroturfed. I think most of it is not even genuine people that have genuine feelings on the matter. I think it's paid propagandists, paid activists. I think it's financed by dark money for the ulterior purposes of a number of international groups, including other nation states. I just think that the entire thing is an attack, and it's fake and false. This is what you call asymmetrical warfare. And as long as we treat it as such, we can defeat it. This entire attack is designed to get you to defeat yourself, get you to hit the brakes yourself, get you to divert on another course, scare you off. And so it's psychological in nature. Let's ransom. And I'm real happy to see us just not even blink at what was a pretty solid attempt in social media. Alright guys, we're gonna hit save. Again, I'm Aesop Grimm. Thank you for coming by the channel. I hope you like what you saw. Oh, I should wrap that up. What we're seeing today is we're watching all of the left's false narratives fall apart. Because we stayed the course, because we didn't blink, because we leaned into it even harder with the things that happened in Portland. And the other arrests that I mentioned, the guy getting gang tackled and stuff like that. Then today, I think it was, well, I'm recording this as of early Saturday morning, so it would have been Friday. That police body cam footage came out and completely dispelled the left. And what happened? The left totally disappeared off of X.com and other social media. They almost entirely disappeared because their bot accounts, their robot accounts, I'm distinguishing between bot as in B-O-T and bot as in B-O-U-G-H-T because they have both. Their bot accounts and their shill accounts closed up shop on that. They knew that they'd lost the plot and they'd been disproven. So all that's left is the indoctrinated, and there's just not enough of them. They get completely outshouted by MAGA. It's not even just MAGA. That's the wonderful thing about all this. It's just people, man. You got to understand this. I have heard that at the academic level, cultural anthropologists are saying, forget about communism, forget about capitalism, and start thinking about neo-feudalism. There's a group of highly influential, powerful, well-financed people out there that have a vision of the world becoming a neo-feudal society where you have a few people at the top and everybody else is a serf. This is what's behind the idea of you will own nothing and you will be happy, right? And so it's really not about right versus left. It's about people and freedom versus tyranny and overlords. And we are winning that fight because more and more, this is where I like the fact that I've distinguished terms. I use the term the left, I use the term liberals, and sometimes I divide liberals up into classical liberals and progressive liberals. But I have separate camps, categories for these people. And we have a lot of liberals waking up saying none of this makes sense. It took a long time and a lot of evidence to break these narratives and to destroy institutions like the mainstream media, but that is all starting to pay big dividends now. So it's really exciting times to see false leftist narratives get completely demolished on social media within hours of them rolling those narratives out. That used to just not be the case, man. It used to not even get defeated. Those false narratives would carry the day and alter our society in the direction we went. Then it started to become something that after a few years you could unwind a false narrative. Then it was a year, then it was months. We're down now to days or hours that we're blowing up their narratives because people have caught on. The learning curve is not so steep. Even liberals, even people who are anti-Trump, anti-MAGA are starting to look at this and being like, whoa, hold on, man. That looks like some BS right there. And I think they fundamentally understand. I'll use an example here. Let's use an analogy. A young woman goes on a blind date with a guy. Maybe that guy was recommended by a friend or something like that, right? She goes on a date. She watches him very intently. It's low key, but she's observing all kinds of things in his body language and his tone, but most importantly, she's looking for inconsistencies. Are you a liar? Basically, because women are used to being lied to and gamed so that the guy can sleep with them, right? So they're trying to ascertain, are you lying to me? And they're very clever and intuitive in figuring this out. And the more experience they gain, the better they are at it. And so they're looking to see, are you lying to me? Because no matter how good it sounds or how suave that guy comes off or how Clark Gable-like, he's gentlemanly, he opens the door for me, he pulls my seat out for me, he says all the best things in the world, he's an absolute dream come true, he looks like a dream in a three-piece suit. And he looks like he knows, like he's got his head on his shoulders. He knows what he's talking about. He looks like he could provide a future. And man, I just am so head over heels for this guy, right? Let's say it's been a few dates. But when she finds out that he lies, and that he lies rampantly, she fundamentally understands she's at risk. Because nobody lies to you with anything but a malicious goal in mind. It is malevolent by nature. Malevolent. Liars are malevolent. They are not doing you any favors. When they lie to you, they are trying to set you up for something that benefits them at your expense. 100% of the time, no exceptions. And people are smart enough and have enough life experience to intuitively understand that. They may not say it like that themselves, but they get that principle. And so you have anti-MAGA people out there who hate Donald Trump, hate MAGA. These are the vote blue no matter who types who are starting to look at things and be like, hold on. I think I'm the one getting hemmed in a trap here. You know, and they're recognizing this stuff quicker and quicker. So the tide is really turning against these people. a whole lot more rapidly than what they're used to. But we'll wrap it up right there. Again, I'm Aesop Grimm. Thank you for coming by the channel. I hope you like what you see. More importantly, I hope all is well in your neck of the woods. If you are fighting to make England great again, God bless you. I'm praying for you. I think that that's a heck of an uphill fight. Those of you in France and Germany doing the same thing, Denmark, there's in my opinion, Turkey and Poland have been absolute stalwart examples for years now of how to resist the bullies in Brussels and woke culture. Italy has, under Giorgia Meloni, has done a fantastic job. You people are all on my mind. Those of you in Australia, you're in a really tough spot right now. You're still fighting to try to make momentum shifts. As far as I know, you're kind of under the boot still, but there's a resistance, and my hat's off to all of you. It takes real courage. But I'll see you in the next episode, where this story continues.
This place ain't no such thing as civilized. It's man, so in love with greed, he has forgotten himself and found